During the past decade, the name Patrician Brothers has been splashed across some of the state's leading newspapers and television screens. It's happened because of the great success they've had on the rugby league arena. But most will agree sport has now become synonymous with the name Patrician Brothers.
It certainly puts me as a coach or any other particular person involved in coaching to work with the kids in a totally different light. The kids see us in a different light. They take us, apart from just simply being a classroom teacher to someone that's really interested in them and also developing another aspect of their growth, which I believe is the physical development of the individual. It helps us also instill into the kids some of the value systems that are actually in the classroom onto the sporting field, and I believe these are pretty important as well. Student interaction with each other on a sporting field is very, very important. It also assimilates all the ethnic groups together because they take pride in the school and take pride in the achievements of each and every individual. I think that's very important.
It was great to be shown around my old school. We got talking about the Patrician Brothers. What were they like? Did they really give up a lot? One teacher was an old boy at the school himself.
Don't you think you as a lay teacher would have more freedom than many of the brothers?
It depends how you define freedom. They certainly have freedoms which I might not enjoy. But as a part of a community, they have the freedom within the community to act in the way they see fit. I suppose they have the certain restrictions because of the vows they've taken, their commitments, but they certainly lead a very normal life as far as I'm concerned. I think the Order has a special spirit of generosity. They make people feel at home, feel very comfortable. They allow both students and staff, parents, to feel as if they own the place, as if it's their school. And that spirit of generosity and hospitality is very important.
We are presented by the brothers with a type of religion that everyone in the school can relate to and everyone in the school can use. And it's that type of religion that we are taught that is really special and unique, and the way that the brothers promote it is very special indeed.
They can really relate to your problems and help you with your problems because they are men of God and they know what it's all about, and they've worked with people for so long that they just know what's wrong and they're willing to help you all the time.
They teach us a lot of religion here at the school, but that's not all they teach. They teach us in different ways, and that's the special thing about them too.
I feel that having brothers and sisters at a Catholic school always brings a more religious tone, a religious aspect to the school. You always realise that religion is there with you.
The brothers, and all religious, they're not 9 to 5 people. They're 24-hour-a-day helpers, always there when you want them.
If you ask me about the relevance of the Patrician Brothers today, I'd have to say they're more relevant than ever because of the changes that have taken place in society and in Catholic schools. And there's more of a challenge to us now than what I thought when I joined. These days there are many more opportunities for the Brothers to be involved in lots of different fields with people, well and truly beyond this normal school sphere, such as hospital work, involvement in parishes, counselling, support groups with adults. Because there are new opportunities now for different works in the Brothers apart from teaching, I think that in the years to come there'll be more people thinking of us because the work is beyond teaching.
Well, the adult education was started here at Blacktown about 5 years ago, and the idea was to bridge the gap between what we do here with the boys and what our parents are experiencing in this modern day. And on reflection, parents have very little opportunity to update themselves on information on church renewal, and more particularly on raising adolescent children and the problems that has in their lives. What I've enjoyed most is the fact that it's a family atmosphere, that I live with a very, very special family. I've made it my own family, and at the same time I've had my own blood family, my natural family. And the fact that here at the Brothers we pray, eat together, we play together, and we share things has made this family, to me, over the 20 years, a very, very special family.
But the need today is to provide leadership to many lay teachers of religion.
Of the scriptures, and it might be a coincidence that you can use that particular reading for the lesson.
The most challenging thing I think about being an REC in a Catholic school is the fact that I'm working with a lot of people who are looking and searching in their own faith. That is with staff and with the students. There is a lot of searching that people are going through to find meaning in their lives. I see this particularly with staff who are just beginning to teach religion in secondary school. At the moment, my job seems to be very much more with helping staff than with working with students. And that's something that I'm finding very difficult. It's something that is certainly a challenge. Community life is probably the most enjoyable thing of being a brother. It's the comradeship with other brothers, the idea of being together and doing something that is common. We've got a common purpose, and I think that part of the community aspect is what attracts me most. It's certainly what attracted me most, the Patrician Brothers, because I saw brothers at a school with a common purpose in faith.
Everyone knows it can be lonely at the top. Brother Anthony appreciates the support of his community life at Holy Cross College. Yeah, we've got a few things here. What should do the coming events?
Community life is a lot of fun, but also fairly trying. Nevertheless, I think the difficult times are compensated for by the better ones. And in fact, community life is quite enjoyable if you're willing to work at it the same way anyone has to work at a family relationship. I depend on my community very much for support, and especially in terms of prayer life, in terms of home life, family life. Without that community, my life would be a very poor one indeed, and I certainly would need that support in the kind of job that I do.
Bill Kenzie will be looking after the administrative part of it, that is the giving out of certificates.
There are very special opportunities for brothers in Catholic schools, and a number of the brothers here work in pretty special sorts of jobs, whether it's in the administration or coordinating RE, whether it's working with computers, in woodwork, whatever it may be. Those challenges are certainly special ones, and certainly ones that they find great enjoyment and great interest in.
In response to the needs of the church in developing areas, the brothers have moved into co-educational senior high schools. Useful skills such as Chinese cooking have become part of a well-rounded education.
What are you going to do? You have all the things with different answers. You go. Joy and peace, thou shalt
morning cuppa, part of the friendly, relaxed scene wherever the brothers are found.
Quite a few of them have actually commented to me that what they find very special about a senior school is that the teachers are able to talk to them at a level which is their level. They're not being talked down to, they're being talked to as young adults. We have to be more than just simply people that they think are nice, friendly, warm and considerate. We have to be people in whom they see Christ. And if they don't see Christ, then I doubt that we've been fully effective or valuable to them. I think a brother helps young people with the problems they face in this life, first of all, by being prepared to listen to them, by being able to accept them as they are, by understanding that they're young adults and therefore they want trust and respect, yet at the same time they also want our guidance. They seem to need a listening ear. They seem to want a person who will be there when they need them, rather than a person who will always have the answers for them. If you could defend opposite me and come straight towards me, I'll show you how you've got to take a step towards that person to bring them in. So it means that the person doing the runaround actually gets out wider and must pass the ball straight away. And I want to see you hit it with your shoulder, get your arms around it and really hoof into that bag like you want to knock it over. You hold the first bag and I'll show you on the first bag, okay? So you don't tackle them on back. Too high that was. Get it lower, down here. Hard! That's a good tackle. Top tackle. I think we have an enormously important role today. Young people particularly look for people with whom they can identify. It's not really good theology, but they tend to link the church with the personalities they see. And therefore, if they see a brother or a sister or anybody that's working with them and is being identified as a person in the church and they like that person, then I think there is a better opportunity for them to start seeing some of the depth that the church has to offer.
Brother Michael teaches at this pioneering co-educational high school in a new outer suburban area.
I would really believe that there is a strong sense of Christian family in our schools, and of the brothers to get in with the lives of the people that are part of our school community, to invite them into our own lives and to be part of theirs is quite common. Life can be a bit of a headache in a new school, as well as very, very special. The pioneer students are certainly very proud of the traditions that they are setting and have a great love and a great pride in their school.
When we looked at the different information, we found that girls are more discriminated at than boys, and so we've got a song that sums it up.
I'm glad you got the Mr. Sheen out, Anthony, for the girls. That's very important. It's very important that they know their place, isn't it? Polish. What did you?
I think it's really good to have a Patrician brother because he's somebody different, and he's not a normal teacher. He's a Patrician brother.
I think having brother around it's not like having another teacher around. It's just having like another friend around. Like if you go up to a teacher, it's really hard to tell them about your problems and that. But with a brother, it feels different, and you just go up to him and just say what you feel, and he'll really listen and reply in any way he can.
Down a moment. We just finished our school camp for Year 6, and we'd just like to get a few ideas on how you enjoyed it and what you thought was the highlight of the camp. Danny.
I liked the going canoeing the most, then because it was had a lot of action and you race other people.
I reckon playing cricket and all the sports that we played.
Yeah, wasn't enough.
Primary education is another important aspect of the brothers' work. It wasn't long before a group of lads pinned me down to ask how things had panned out after I'd left school. I discovered that more recently, brothers had taken up positions in parish primary schools and were involved in the teaching of children from kindergarten to Year 6. senior brothers, after nearly a lifetime in the classroom, still remain in the midst of life, surrounded by the energy and enthusiasm of the young.
On Saturday?
We're playing Greystones
Oh, where at? Good.
in the Amnesia Street.
Yeah, so I've got a ball. Are they the
Oh,
two we
you'll
played
see, you'll see. Go and go and get a bat now.
Are they the two we played in?
Some brothers minister to patients in busy hospitals, bringing companionship. Other brothers are in parish ministry, preparing the parish Sunday Mass, taking communion to the sick, leading prayer groups, and assisting in the instruction of adults in the faith. In today's world, new needs require new approaches.
All the bread and the wine.
Where do we put? Where is the bread and wine got to be?
Up on the table where the gifts come from.
Up on the table where the gifts come from. That will be down the back. And coming in, how do we come in again? I'm going to get Matthew and Craig to come and show us how you bring the gifts up to the altar. And I can see them. And Craig, you hold them up nice and high. Now we'd like you to take them up.
The Patrician brothers bring people in touch with Christ, whether preparing parish altar servers, conducting retreats, or serving in the missions.
Generally, you take them through some sharing group experiences where they talk about their lives, what it's like for them to be in family, in friendship, and mainly concentrate on that sort of thing rather than on sacraments. So in the afternoon, we end the day off usually with a meditation, relaxation. They enjoy it very much because every time they come back, this is what they always ask for. So it's really an experience of getting down to the gut level of life rather than talking about religious issues like they would in their RE classes at school. So it's a very different orientation, and it's been found to be very acceptable, and it's in great demand.
If you go to Papua New Guinea missions, you have the opportunity to do very many things. I go up as a teacher, but you go up there to work with students, helping them to improve their lifestyle. It also gives you the opportunity to build, to be a mechanic, to be to work in many other fields other than teaching, and in this way you'll be able to help the Papua New Guineans improve their lifestyle and also help bring the message of the four Gospels through the works that you do up there. Our boarding school is a very, very pretty place in Itapi. It's well established. It would be one of the oldest in the land. It has a tremendous academic record. It's probably regarded as one of the top 5 schools in the land. In Papua New Guinea schools, particularly boarding schools, students have to travel long distances. They come by foot, which could take 3 days. They come by canoe, by boat, by road. They fly in by plane. And the problem with many of them, though, they have to walk 2 and 3 and 4 days to get to the school. And through the jungles, that's very, very hard work.
Perhaps the most challenging part I find is the training of the local people. Nowadays it's the task of any missionaries to work yourself out of a job, and that's what we find rather challenging, to be able to do that. They are very, very conscious of the fact that we are, there to help them, and they respond quite readily to what we do. It's a challenge, and it's a challenge that's often different every day, but you meet great personal satisfaction there and a great deal of personal fulfillment.
When I first arrived in Papua New Guinea, I made many mistakes. The major problems I would have faced would be with the differences that you encounter with the sexes. One example is every Saturday night we have a video, and the video machine is connected to 2 TVs, one facing one end of the hall and the other facing the other end of the hall, and both placed in the centre of the hall. The boys must sit one end and the girls must sit the other. Never will they meet or sit together during any video. It's culture and custom won't allow it.
As Brother Mark and I took a break for lunch, the thought struck me that this was a life of commitment, but one which any young man could aim at. God can reach out and touch any young person. He did so with guys in my year at school. He waits for a generous response. God's people need religious, and fulfilment is there for those who respond.
Well, probably
the brothers living here would have as many obligations as any single man, any single Catholic in the world. More structures perhaps, but same amount of freedom. We don't marry, the money we get, well, we don't get any, but the money we receive goes to the community, and everything we need comes from that.
The Patrician brothers, as indeed many other religious congregations, are men who live in community. And because they live in community, they bring both to their own lives and to the work that they do aspects which other people are not able to bring. And while you might have very good teachers and very good social workers and people who are very dedicated, in fact, to the work of the church or to any kind of work, the people who live in religious communities like ourselves are able, when we go home from our work in the day, we go back and we meet and we pray and we support one another. Well, brothers, and Patrician brothers in this case, are not simply workers. They have a dimension to their lives which is created by being in community and by the spiritual dimension of that community.
Never part with this.
Where there is family conflict, where there is family breakup, and where there is serious hardship as a result of it, I think that many of our brothers are able to offer great help in this area and to provide some of the sources of recovery for young people that would not otherwise able to be available to them.
If the brothers are here at the college or monastery 24 hours a day, do you think they're still in touch with life?
They're still human, they have a social life even though they're within the school. They go out and enjoy themselves, so I think they know what's going on. But all those people who want to be a brother, I think that's what they really had in their heart, and they felt that they had to do it.
Through the eyes of a woman, what is a Patrician brother?
A Patrician brother is a man, a special man too, a sexual being, as well as a man who has committed himself to the religious life and to professing that, yes, I believe in Jesus Christ, and because of that, I'm ready to, you know, have the vows of obedience, chastity, and poverty.
You may have aspirations to one day have a family. Do you ever wonder how a brother can make that decision not to go through with having a family?
I've thought of it, but I feel that they know when they've made that commitment. And yes, they have their doubts and they have their times in their lives when they question things and they go through their phases of whether or not perhaps the religious life is still meant for them. But I think that's normal. It's like me perhaps questioning my career, or people going through different phases in their marriages. And I think, yes, but they know because they've made that commitment and they've accepted that commitment. And that's why they're prepared to sacrifice that intimacy of a relationship with a woman.
The fact that we don't have a natural family, I suppose, gives us more energy to devote time with the family of the church.
I think there's something special in the Patrician brothers. There is something special in the community life that I live. There is also something very special in the sort of work that we do, and I think as a brother, without the obligations of family, I have an opportunity to be able to extend to all the young people I work with the energies that I would be donating to a family, as it were, if I were a married man.
Looking back from where I am now, from my days at school, I'd say that the brothers had a tremendous effect on the way that I related to God and related to Jesus and related that to life. And that's still has its repercussions today in the way I live.
So where have the Patrician brothers come from? Almost 200 years ago, this man responded to the needs of his time. He had a vision. The man, Daniel Delaney, the founder of the Patrician brothers.
Foundations firm. I tell the wicked not to be arrogant. I tell them to stop their boasting. Judgment does not come from the east or from the west, from the north or from the south.
From simple beginnings in Ireland, Daniel Delaney's vision lives on today in the many varied and challenging apostolic works of the brothers. Hundreds of young men have responded with generosity. Like Daniel Delaney, the brothers today continue to respond to the needs of the church in 5 continents. The generosity of today's youth is no less, and the harvest remains great.
Yes, I believe in Jesus Christ, and because of that, I'm ready to, have the vows of obedience, chastity, and poverty.
You may have aspirations to one day have a family. Do you ever wonder how a brother can make that decision not to go through with having a family?
I've thought of it, but I feel that they know when they've made that commitment. And yes, they have their doubts and they have their times in their lives when they question things and they go through their phases of whether or not perhaps their religious life is still meant for them. But I think that's normal. It's like me perhaps questioning my career, or people going through different phases in their marriages. And I think, yes, but they know because they've made that commitment and they've accepted that commitment. And that's why they're prepared to sacrifice that intimacy of a relationship with a woman.
The fact that we don't have a natural family, I suppose, gives us more energy to devote time with the family of the church.
I think there's something special in the Patrician brothers. There is something special in the community life that I live. There is also something very special in the sort of work that we do, and I think as a brother, without the obligations of family, I have an opportunity to be able to extend to all the young people I work with the energies that I would be donating to a family, as it were, if I were a married man.
Looking back from where I am now, from my days at school, I'd say that the brothers had a tremendous effect on the way that I related to God and related to Jesus and related that to life. And that's still has its repercussions today in the way I live.
So where have the Patrician brothers come from? Almost 200 years ago, this man responded to the needs of his time. He had a vision. The man, Daniel Delaney, the founder of the Patrician brothers.
Foundations firm. I tell the wicked not to be arrogant. I tell them to stop their boasting. Judgment does not come from the east or from the west, from the north or from the south.
From simple beginnings in Ireland, Daniel Delaney's vision lives on today in the many varied and challenging apostolic works of the brothers. Hundreds of young men have responded with generosity. Like Daniel Delaney, the brothers today continue to respond to the needs of the church in 5 continents. The generosity of today's youth is no less, and the harvest remains great.